Sean, the creator of Venture Unknown. We talk about doing rig walkarounds all the time, and what better rig to introduce than Bruiser. We've never really told anybody about it in detail, the story of Bruiser, and so that's what we're going to do today. We're here at the beautiful Twin Lakes Campground on Lake Hartwell in Upper State, South Carolina. Not the type of campground we use this truck for, but this is where we are, close to our home, and so we're going to try to knock this thing out with all the ums and the take-twos and everything. So nonetheless, let me introduce you to Bruiser. About 8 or 9 years ago, Michelle bought this truck for the simple purpose of trying to haul our kids around. It was in really bad shape when we bought it. All the paint was faded, it had 4 different sets of tires on it. The interior was trashed and sticky and nasty, and it's just not a pretty truck. Michelle dailied it for about a year, putting $60+ of gas in it per week to try to get back and forth to work, and ever so often we would go camping in it. Not very much, not anything like we do now, but we certainly did take it camping every once in a while on all 4 different street tires. We would take it camping, we would come home, we would park it, and it would sit. And then one fateful day in December, I went outside to crank the truck and decided to drive it that day, and went inside to go get a cup of coffee and my jacket, and I saw some gentleman outside, I call him a gentleman loosely, walking past the truck, and we lived in an okay neighborhood. I didn't think anything of it, and I walked outside with my coffee and my jacket in hand and watched Bruiser take off. So, got stolen, and with the help of Facebook, and without getting into that story too much, within 36 hours, we recovered Bruiser. And when we recovered him, it was vandalized, to say the least. He had trashed the inside, it stunk. He had tried to cover the paint job with black plastic dip, and he only halfway did that. And so when we got it back and recovered it, we looked at this truck and thought that it wanted to be something more, and so we decided to build it. A ride was coming up that we were invited to, decided to go to. The kids had found a ride to go to with a group, which I will not mention, which we had a very short period of time to try to get it built enough to make that trip. The very first thing we did was get rid of the black plastic dip. I rafter coated it. It was a cold day, a rainy day, and it was actually a pretty big disaster trying to get this thing rafter coated, but I rafter coated it. Rafter is a DIY kit that you can buy off Amazon that is really durable. It's perfect for what we use it for. It gave us the ability to change the color and cover up all that oxidated paint that was on it, and make it rough and tough for the future that it did not know it was in for. So we did that, we rafter coated it, and I think the very next thing we did is we put a lift kit on it. It's got an Old Man Emu 3-inch lift kit. It was done by me, but with a little bit of research, really not enough research, because I ended up putting heavy springs on the front, but I put medium load springs in the back, not knowing that we were gonna tack on a good couple tons of overlanding goodness on it, so which I will get around to showing y'all here in a little bit. So immediately when we jacked it up with Old Man Emu, it looked very funny. I think it had 31 BFGs on it, not mud terrains, just some rugged terrain tires that we had on it, and it looked like a little tricycle running around for a few weeks. And then we had our mind set on getting a pair of BFGs right from the beginning. We know BF Goodrich is one of the best tires that you can run on an outdoor rig, an overlanding rig, and went shopping for wheels, and it had my heart set on some bronze wheels, much to Michelle's dismay. And as I'm looking through the website, I laid eyes on these red Fuel Zephyr wheels. They are 17 by 9s once I saw them, I could not unsee them, and I just had to have them. I really wish we could have sprung for the bead locks. These are simulated bead locks, unfortunately, but we've never rolled a bead on them. They're really good, probably largely thankful to the BF Goodrich tires. The tire size that we're running on this thing is a 35 by 12.5 by 17. Really good, middle of the road size for doing what we're trying to do, which is where I will take a moment and say that, you know, you don't have to run 35s on your rig. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on your rig to go camping. You need to have an adventurous spirit, an adventurous family, and a little bit of organization, and just the willingness to get out into the forest and find trails and camps and enjoy God's beauty, which is what we did for the longest time, just bone stock. So anyway, so we couldn't stop there. It started turning into somewhat of an obsession. I think the very next thing that we bought was this Arb Bumper. I got this thing on sale. It was a little under $1,000, which is a really good bumper, really good deal. These things have been engineered, designed, and tested for many, many years by the Australians. As you can see, we have beat this thing to death. We use this truck, and it shows in many, many different ways. You can see I've hit trees, I've hit rocks. I have recently hit a tree here on Potts Mountain, and thank goodness this bumper is there, because if it wouldn't, this truck would be trashed. So something that some people don't know about ARB is when they put this tubing in here, they don't just weld it to this plate. There's a hole here, and actually on the other side of here, that pole, this tube is going through there and then welded, which gives it extra good strength. The next thing we did was we went ahead and put a winch in it. When the bumper went on here, it didn't have my pretty little red shackles. It didn't have any nice little lights. It didn't have anything on it. It looked really funny, really bare. But everybody needs to have a winch. So we bought, I almost got this for free. This Warren M8000 winch had a steel line in it. I got it with the deal with buying the wheels and the tires from 4 Wheel Parts. So why not? Bought it. Really should have gone with something bigger. A little tidbit of information: you probably should run all your recovery equipment should be 1.5 times the weight of your vehicle. This vehicle comes in at a whopping 7,500 pounds, and I think that has gone up since we put the swing out on. We're probably creeping up around 8,000 pounds. One of the first things I did when we bought the winch is get the steel line out of there. The steel line is great for certain applications, but what we used it for, I found out immediately that it is really tough to handle. It doesn't like to wind, it likes to get caught up. The synthetic line is a godsend. I highly recommend synthetic line. So after that, I want to say that we put the Snorkel on it. It's just an off-brand Snorkel. There was no sense in me spending $300 or $400 for a piece of plastic that's going to do the same thing regardless if it's a Safari ARB Snorkel or not. This thing was a real pain in the butt to put in. Is anybody that has put a snorkel in can agree and understand how nerve-wracking it is putting a hole about that big in your fender, and it's not easy. But I've done a few of them. It's not that bad. You just gotta measure twice and cut once. So in no specific order, we also had to get our lights put in. We put some ditch lights in. These are the Baja Squadron 2s Sport. I want to say they're the Squadron 2s. Don't quote me on that. We've got some Baja design knockoff lights on the front that we got from Amazon. These things are becoming very popular. They are not Baja designs, but they look just like LP9s and they work great. These are the most important lights on the rig that we use. I cannot express enough. You know, the light bar and everything is great, but the bumper lights are really nice to have. We put a roof rack on it. Was one of the first things that we put on it because we knew we wanted to run an RTT tent. When I did that, we put this slim light bar on it. I want to say it's a 40-inch light bar. It's again an Amazon special. It doesn't condensate, doesn't leak. It's worked for what we've used it for, but I don't really use it that often, but it is a nice little light to have when it's really nice and foggy and stuff. So No rig would be complete that if you're going to sit there and go to Windrock and go to some of these trails, you need some rock sliders. These rock sliders are from White Knuckle Off-Road. They have been beat and hit and knocked a few times. To kind of, if Michelle here will zoom in, you can kind of see my rocker panel, where about 3 weeks before we got these rock sliders, we were at Windrock and rolled a rock up under there. That is not the kind of damage you want to have on your rig. We also used to have a tent up here that was a Tough Stuff tent. It was a soft shell. It was a really comfortable and nice tent, but it's also what I would call an entry-level tent. It's a little tough to put up. A lot of people would laugh at my little monkey butt getting up there trying to close up that tent, and cinching it down and zipping it up, especially when it's cold, was a real pain. So we sold it. We ended up getting this hard shell clamshell tent. This is by a company called Outer Tents. It's essentially a Chinese brand knockoff of the Roof Nest Falcon XL, or the CBT Mount Hood, I want to say, something like that. They're very similar. I'm going to open that thing up here in a little bit. We'll get around to that. Don't look at this yet. I don't want you to talk about this thing. So we also have some Baja design lights in the back. These are my chase lights. These things are great. These are the lens on these things are the scene, or also called work or camp lights. They are great because they don't blind the people behind me. They have two purposes. One is when we get to camp and we're trying to set up kitchen and cooking and everything else we do. It does have a big dispersed light in the area. It's not a spotlight or anything like that, so it works really great. The second purpose of it is if you've ever been to Uwharrie or Windrock, you will see lots of dust. When we go through, I'm always usually in the lead and when we're running a convoy, and the dust can be thick. You cannot see 6 feet in front of you. Chase lights are great for that purpose. They're a safety feature that we really believe in. I love them. We have ongoing jokes about those Baja lights that I won't even get into, but it's a fun little thing. These shackles that you see on the front and the back, those are Gear America. Had to have red. Our accents are all red. The reoccurring theme here for the wheels that we have. Not too long, we got this wonderful wife approved 180-degree overland vehicle systems. There we go. OBS 180 awning. This thing is great for setting up for shade in the rain. This has been a recent purchase. We love it. I'm going to deploy this here very shortly. Not too long before or after, I forget, we found this little shower awning that was on sale by a company called Kick-Ass. They're an Australian-based company. They sell all kinds of overlanding stuff. This one is really nice. I think we paid 130 bucks for it. It's really great. So I'm going to open up. I might as well skip ahead to my swing out here. We just got the swing out. We waited 28 weeks for this thing. It's by a company called Delta Vehicle Systems. I have to say and admit that it was worth the wait. This thing is almost over-engineered. It is, the thickness on some of these latches are amazing, which that is the focal point, or the absolute joy in this thing is the latch system, which I'll demonstrate here. So a lot of swing outs, you'll see the little red handle, has the little bitty dinky clasp on it. This one is a 2-part latch. You open that, you open this, and then you pull. And then the pin drops in. Same with here, double latching, and it pins. As you can see, we use this truck. This is what we call a cat scratch. Without getting into the story too much, a tree jumped out in front of me, and while we were running our Cat 3,
wouldn't that be behind you?
Jumped out behind me while I was going in a perfectly reverse maneuver and drove right into a tree. Don't mind the backup camera. The tree was sneaky. So Having armor in the back is a really great thing to have. We have drugged this butt all over the place. This particular bumper, you do not have to cut the crossbar that goes across here on a Land Cruiser. It just fits right over it, which I enjoy. So one of the great things about an 80 series that I love is having this hatch, which serves as almost like an awning, and also a tailgate. There's nothing better than a tailgate. We use this thing to sit on, stand on, climb on, fix dinner on. If this yellow light's on, it becomes Sean's late night bar at camp, which I will show in a little bit. These drawers are by Ironman 4x4. Ironman 4x4 is a company that offers decently priced items. It's not a goose gear. It's not something that you're going to spend $3,000 on. I want to say this dual drawer system here on the bottom ran us about $800 or $900. Then you have to buy the wings, which are here, which are specific to the vehicle. That way it will fit the contour of the side panels and everything. Really like it. It's got these cubbies that you can open up in here. I use these cubbies on this side right here. Is a lot of extra propane tanks. I have spare bearings, spare radiator hoses, spare fan belts, U-joints, anything and everything I can think that I'm going to break on the trail. I try to shove in that cubby. There's also a first aid kit in there. These drawers, this one right here is the only one I get to my name. This is where my Atlas, I don't want to say 65, 46, dyslexic and off by a number. My Atlas 46 was a wonderful Christmas gift by my beautiful wife. This thing is super durable. I've got so many tools in there. It is very heavy. This drawer handles it just fine. You got to have tools on the trail. Here's my personal shower bag. I don't know what this is. I think that's iced tea that we call that in here in South Carolina. And then I just keep all kinds of nuts and bolts and my poop shovel, everything you can think of. I got me some Venture Unknown patches in here. Go to ventureunknown.com and get those. Gotta love them. We love our Venture Unknown family. This one here is the kitchen. Michelle is washing dishes. They're at the house, but normally this thing is full of pots, pans, strainers, forks, tongs, and everything else to cook at camp. This one here is the ultimate snack drawer. You're going to be disappointed because there's no snacks in here unless you eat paper towels. But usually Michelle does a great job at putting these little bitty crates in here that fit, that you can take in and out. I have beef jerky back here, gummy bears, cinnamon swirls, you name it, it's back here. I can't tell you how many little trail stops we've had and people come back here to get their snacks. This is a single drawer from Iron Man. I had to have it. I really truly want to stick another one up there, to be honest with you. The Jackery 300, I got this thing on sale. We thought we were going to use that more than we did. It does come in handy for charging phones and camera equipment and stuff like that, but we don't use it as much as I thought we would. This is my recovery bag. I'm not going to go in there, but I can guarantee you everything I need to recover a vehicle is in here. Tree savers, kinetic ropes, snatch ropes, pulleys, snatch blocks, extra shackles, gloves, winch controller, everything's in here. So I can sit there and have it I can pretty easily get it out of here. I take that back, my kinetic rope is right here. So with an overlanding vehicle, you've got to make use of every little space you have. This is where we keep our stove. This is a Eureka 2-burner stove. Michelle really likes it. I think it's nice. It is fits in that little spot pretty nice, except when we get to going down the trail, it beats the mess out of the window. We got this air up system. This is a 4-way air up system by our good friend Stephen Ma. I think the name of his company is 4-way air. Really check him out. This thing is just as good as a Morflate, with about $50 cheaper than that. We have our bush toilet. It's back here. If you don't know what a bush toilet is, it folds completely flat. As you can see, we've got it stuck there in a crevice, and it is decently, I like it better than a bucket. I like it better than some of the fold-up toilets. As long as you buy the special bags for it, it's a great little toilet. This big old white thing you see strapped to this subwoofer back here is a Joka hot tap. which will come around here and I'll show you about when you get nasty and dirty on the trail. There's nothing better than a hot shower. So it's ratchet strap city back here. This thing is still in the build process. We have not got our molly panels and stuff to strap some of this to, so mind the ratchet straps. Joka hot tap. Gotta love this thing. It really, really is nice to have in there. It's convenient. Here is a 13-gallon water tank by Ironman 4x4 also. It nestles in there pretty good. I've got my 11-gallon propane tank also ratchet strapped in here, which is also feeding, of course, the Joka hot tap. There's the water tank is up here strapped to my subwoofer with another ratchet strap. All that together, I can get this thing deployed and taking a hot shower in roughly 5 minutes. It's really, really nice to have. As you can see, we've pulled what once used to be 3-row seats of vehicle completely out. There are no more seats in this thing to fit all this in. This is the ladder for our outer tents that I hate carrying around, but we have to. This box right here is full of fire starter. It's full of mountain meals. It's full of extra parts, extra camping stuff. Rarely open it up, but it's there to give me a peace of mind. This is our chair, our little camp chair. This is actually a love seat by Kelty. Everybody loves this thing. It's great. It's a really comfortable chair. I think it's been gone on sale lately. Here's my adventure hat. I don't know why I'm not wearing it. I guess because I'm not on an adventure, but we're going to keep it right here. This is a hers and he and she's, her and him towels. We keep it right there. These things are nice. They're like a microfiber cloth that we use when we take our showers. We'll go on to the other side here, and I will.
What usually goes in that empty spot right there?
Right here?
Yeah.
Firewood.
Lots
of firewood. Gotta have firewood. You guys are not bringing firewood, or bad. So we'll walk over here, and I'll show you what's on the other side real quick. Nothing much. I keep our camp pack. This is where, because of the type of clamshell tent we have, you can't keep the bedding in there. You can't keep the the pillows and the blankets and the sleeping bags. So we put it in this thing called a camp pack. It keeps it clean. It keeps it contained. So it nestles up in there really well. We keep our extra drinks that we can't squeeze into that fridge back there in this crate, just as a backup water. We have our bamboo table here that we cook on and prepare meals on, that nestles in right here on the side. I've got my rain gear that I shove up under my seat. We got our patch collection. Gotta love patches. Look at our patch collection. Everybody can see the patches. Send me patches. Email me for my address. I got my machete, my Gerber machete back here. This thing has come in handy quite a bit. And that is it for the back seat. And then driver's seat. So everything is a mess. Again, we use this rig. It has no carpet in it. I ripped it all out. I sit there and put some mats down. Michelle put in some thermal barrier insulation. I guess that's what we'll call it, all through here. That helped this floor would get as hot. You could cook an egg on it. I've got a ton of GMRS radios here. These are the Baja things. These are usually my loaner radios I keep and give to people. As you can see, I've got about 6 of them. This thing is the absolute best thing that a gift was given to me. Thank you, Mr. Aaron, for this. This is a Gomboy. I believe you can get this at REI. This thing is nice for if you come up and you got you a branch that's on the trail. You can hack through a branch really, really quick with this thing. I could go on and on about how I love this tool.
It just saved us at Potts Mountain, actually, because the person carrying the chainsaw was on Sunday coming home. Person carrying the chainsaw had gone a different route home, and we were doing a trail and came to some branches laying down.
Branches that were hanging. The branch had fell and the branches were hanging down. God only knows what it would have ripped off. So it was, they were good sized branches. So I got up on the hood and hacked those suckers off. I got 2 fire extinguishers in this truck. One of them is right here under my seat. that I keep. It's an actual well, I want to say full size, but it's a bigger fire extinguisher. I have the element right here. Thank you, Asher Delafay, for this. It was a gift. You mount it right there. If you have fire extinguishers, you should have them where they're very easy to access. You don't want to be fumbling around when you have a fire, wondering, trying to open swing outs and dig through bags and open doors, try to get your fire extinguishers. This right here is a kit called a life-saving kit that Bobby Reese, it's a co-worker of mine that gave me this. This is a tourniquet, an emergency blanket, and some gauze. A great little emergency kit to have. I've got bear spray in here, a big old thing of bear spray. I've yet to use, thank God. We bought that before we went to Colorado for obvious reasons. And Bear did come into our camp, by the way, and try to eat a pizza box. May he have indigestion forever. We've got multi-tools, and I've got my knives. There's so many knives in this thing, I can't tell you. Here's another knife. Knives. Gotta love it. Just a little bit about the command center of what I've got going on here. I've got my GMRS Hytera 612 GMRS radio. Thank you, Asher Delafay, for that. My mic is on a Steely ball. Also have a Uniden. I want to say it's a 510 Pro. I don't have my glasses on, but it's a Uniden CB. That was one of the very first things that we put in here as far as communications was the CB here. And then we put the GMRS in, which is the most, in my opinion, the most common form of communications that we have. This little switch panel right here is my aux beam. No, it is not the Switch Pros that cost $900. This one cost me about $150. It does the trick. I can turn on every light on the truck, including the cargo area, which turns on the charger, the 12 volts that runs everything, as far as charging camera equipment, the iPad, charging phones. There's more USBs in this thing than in NASA. We have 2 RAM mount that we use. Michelle's is over there, as you can see. Mine is right here. They're great for urban landing. You hold the phone's really nice. For our navigation is Apple iPad, I want to say 11th generation. I may be wrong with that. Works really, really well. Very compatible with Gaia, which is the primary navigational software that we use.
It's also on a RAM mount too, correct?
Yes, it's on a RAM mount also, which took about 2 or 3 returns to Amazon for me to get the right kind of arms. Up there, super glued to the dash, is GXT 1000 handheld radios. We love Midlands. They're really, really great. The little handhelds are great for grabbing real quick when I have to go and spot or doing any kind of communication outside the truck. Let's see, what am I missing? My lovely wife bought me this backup camera and also dash cam. It's forward facing and rear facing. That thing is really, really nice.
Although you will still back into trees.
Although I still back into trees. It is always working. It's almost like a rear view mirror that is shows me what's going on, because God knows I cannot see what's behind me. If Michelle will pan to the back, you will clearly see why. Here it is. There's a wall of stuff back there. We have one of the things about a Land Cruiser I'll point out real quick, they don't have any cup holders. So we got this 3D printed one off of Etsy that mounts right here. That is really, really nice to have. My head unit for my stereo, that could be a whole separate video in itself, is a 10-inch, I want to say CMD 500 Pioneer. Has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That thing is hooked up to 1200 watts of amps in the back. To quickly go over my stereo system, is a 400 watt Morel that is running the door speakers. I have 6.5s in each door. There's a 6.5 Morel here. There's a 6.5 Focal in this door. There's 1-inch tweeters in the A pillar. There's 1-inch tweeters in the C pillars. And then there is 10W7 audio sitting in the box right here.
That's his third drawer.
That's my third drawer. The amp is powering the W7 here is the HD 750 JL audio amp. That thing is a monster, and I cannot tell you, it sounds really good. There you can see I've got one of the amps there, and the JL audio is beside it, although you cannot see it. We decided to go with ARB for our fridge. It's a 73 quart dual zone fridge freezer, although it's not on right now. It's also on the it.You cab tilt down fridge slide. Can't say enough good things about it. I don't know, Michelle must have left that in there. We might, oh, there's them in root beers in there. Woo! Might have to turn that sucker on. So really love our fridge. It's been a good one. ARB has excellent customer service. Can't say enough about them. If something goes wrong with their stuff, which we did have a little problem with the fridge, they swap it out no problem. I've got my little hatchet right here, also by Gerber, stuck in this little nice little handy dandy spot. What am I missing, baby? I think
your switches. Did you want to talk about your switches with your?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the switches. So this little deal right here almost drove me mad. So inside this cubby, well, let me start with the reason that I needed that. I wanted to be able to charge my phones. I wanted to charge the Jackery. I wanted to have an easy way to turn the lights on that are back here, and the water pump. So this one here, that's a Baja design scene light also right there. That's one of my favorite mods on the whole truck is that light. This here turns on the water pump for the Jolka hot tap. This one here turns on the USB plug that you see up here, that if we have anything plugged up into the tent, we can turn on lights and fans and charge iPads up in the tent. It's really, really great. It is hooked to a fuse block that is under this cubby. So everything is separately fused. It's also on a 40-60 amp circuit breaker that's under there. That is all running to the front of the truck, which I guess that's what we will go to next. I will show you the hood. I'm gonna shut everything properly so I can close my swing outs. So to run all these powered things, you gotta have dual batteries. If you're gonna have a fridge, you're gonna need a dual battery. So let's go under the hood and see what kind of dual battery system I went with. So those that don't know, an 80 series has a 4.5 liter straight 6 1FZ FE engine. This thing is like a tractor motor. You cannot kill them. We are sitting at about 260,000 miles right now, and she leaks like a sieve in certain places, burns a little oil, but she keeps on going strong. We have driven this thing to Colorado. We take it out at least once a month, hundreds of miles. I think last year we probably used the truck in somewhere around 20 to 25,000 miles, and it never has stranded us. It is a reliable, great truck. So dual battery systems, the whole big subject that I will try to not get too much into. When I first researched dual batteries, I thought the best way to go would be to have an isolator, or a solenoid as they call it. So I went with that. I had a solenoid in here that separated these two batteries when it was off and connected them when it was on. The problem that I had with that is I couldn't hook solar up to it. It only was charging the second battery when the truck was running. So I decided to take that out and go with the Red Arc BC to DC 1225D, which is mounted right here. As you can see, it's in these things are great. It knows what staging profile it needs to be in, or charging profile. If it's parked, it's running off solar. You can see one of these lights right here is telling me that my solar panel is picking up light. Oh my God, that thing is hot. And it is in fact charging the battery in whatever stage it needs. So if you're going to run dual batteries, you might as well skip the whole isolator thing. An isolator is just going to dump power into the second battery, where the Red Arc or Renogy is going to be a little bit smarter about it. So I can't recommend that enough. So to the solar panel we're running that's up on top of the tent, it's a Flexi Renogy 100 watt panel. It's up there, trust me, I'm not going to sit there and go up there and show you, but it's up there. It's just a little bitty thin thing. We'll probably end up putting another 100 watts up there, if not more, because we're still having some kind of charging issue with trying to run our fridge for multiple days. So anyways, went with 2 batteries. This one over there is just a regular Duracell battery. We've had it for a long time, and it seems to work really great. These weird looking battery terminals that you see are from New Concepts. They're really custom audio battery terminals. They're great for hooking multiple things in different gauges. I actually love these things. So the second battery that we went with is buried under here. You cannot see it. Is an Odyssey Group 24. It is not the Extreme, although I feel like we may need to get the Extreme one day, but there's a Group 24, no, I'm sorry, Group 34. Odyssey Battery. Odyssey batteries are great because they're USA made. They're really great. The Optima batteries have lost a lot of their reputation lately. A lot of people don't like them anymore. I think they quit building them here in the United States is one of the reasons. So, hooked up to this battery is a lot of things. The switch that you saw on the back is running to one of these battery terminals here. My dual twin ARB compressor is sitting right here under this bracket, and it is also hooked up to this battery. This is a fuse block. You saw the aux beam switch panel that was back there. Everything is fused. This is what the brain of the lights that are on the truck: bumper lights, ditch lights, light bar, rear lights. Everything goes into this fuse panel. It's worked really well. It also comes with a 16 amp circuit breaker right here. Love it. We've got lockers on this truck. This truck was not originally triple locked, so we put lockers on it. So that's one of the reasons for the compressor here. But we also had the ARB manifold that is running front and rear lockers, which let's talk about that a little bit. Wait, before I go too far, in order to move all this stuff around, in order to get this battery in here, I bought these brackets from Slee Off-Road. They make a kit that will relocate your coolant. My windshield wiper bottle is supposed to be right here. The thing is trashed, so we don't even have it in here right now. Who needs to wash their windows, right? That's what rain's for. So the bracket system is really great. It enables you to put dual batteries in. If you're wanting to put dual batteries in your truck, check out Slee Off-Road. So going in to the drivetrain, when we lifted the truck 3 inches, we changed the pinion angle on this thing. So when we change the pinion angle, and one of the things that you're going to do when you lift the truck is you're going to either want to have caster correction bushings that go into your lower control arms, or caster correction plates, which you can see these plates right here on my control arms. So I went with the plates because anything over 2.5 inches really needs to go with the plates. And so when we did that, we changed the pinion angle of the front axle here, and in doing that, we got driveline vibrations. When we got driveline vibrations, we had to change the drive shaft to a DC or double cardon drive shaft. I want to say the gentleman that built it, his name's CJ Tatton out of Utah. Did a really good job. Just make sure you grease them. It has a little hidden grease fitting that you literally have to take the drive shaft off to grease your fittings. I was in Colorado when I learned that lesson. It wasn't a good lesson to learn.
But their customer service is really great. When we had issues in Colorado, all Sean had to do was call him. He walked him through what was probably wrong, where our issue was, and how to get it temporarily repaired so that we could get back home.
Yep.
But hitting a few more trails in between, of course.
Yes. So this truck has done Black Bear Pass, it's done Poughkeepsie Gulch. We've been to Windrock. We've been to Kentucky. We've been to Virginia. We've been to Tennessee, all over Georgia, all over South Carolina. We use this thing, let me tell you. Moving on, so when I put the lockers in it, of course there's only one locker to go with, in my opinion. That's ARB. We went with ARB air lockers front and back, also re-geared to 488 gears. I personally took all that third members out of the truck, rebuilt the burr fields. If you ever have any questions or want to know how to do that, reach out to me. It's not that hard of a job. Or check out Otram on YouTube.
Or reach out to me, I can tell you.
Yep, Michelle was right there with me. She could rebuild these bird fields in a heartbeat. When we rebuilt them, took out the third members and we sent them to a local shop or regional local shop here in North Carolina called East Coast Gear Supply. East Coast Gear Supply is top notch. Everybody knows if you want it done right, take it to East Coast Gear Supply. They rebuilt, regeared, installed the lockers, sent them back to me, all really in a reasonable amount of time at a reasonable price. We won't talk about how much that price was because reasonable is perspective, but nonetheless, she is regeared, still slow as molasses, but yet can get me from point A to point B, even though she is approximately 3,500 pounds overweight. You can see here, this is my GMRS antenna. It's also Hytera, I believe. I might be wrong about that. No, it's a tram. It's a tram antenna. Again, a gift of Mr. Asher Delafave. I finally have clear communications to my tail gunners. So, what am I leaving out? Let me see. Old Bruiser here. Got Factor 55 E-Link closed system recovery here. I want to say it's an E-Link. I can't remember. Factor 55, tried, tested, true. These things are solid. They're really engineered, and they do their testing to make sure that they're going to hold up in a recovery. Sometimes going cheap could cost you your life. Also have the Factor 55 fair lead. This bumper originally had a roller fair lead on it. When I changed it to synthetic rope, it didn't make any sense to run the rollers anymore, so I cut them off. Running a high lift jack. This thing is as old as I am. Gift of my father-in-law. We had the high lift mounts to the bumper and everything. Looks like I'm carrying around an AR-15 on here, but it is not. It's my high lift jack. Super dangerous. Hate these things. I swear I wish I could come up with something else. Let's see.
Try to use it as little as possible.
We have some action tracks up on the top. Those people that think that this is just that they're just for Instagram, we use the action tracks. The action tracks, I originally bought some X-Bulls off of Amazon, and I'm looking at my lovely camera lady here, having fun with the Osmo. There we go. The X-Bulls ended up being shredded. They get cold, they get brittle, they break. They're hard plastic. They don't like to give junk. Granted, they're not that expensive, but they will break. So buy once, cry once. We got action tracks. We got those from Yoda Mafia. Unfortunately, not red in the color that we wanted it, but we do love them. We used them recently at Potts Mountain. When any of the little knobbies get ate up and chewed up from spinning tires on them, you can just simply drill out the knobby and put a bolt and nut in it, and that replaces that knobby. Really great to have. Okay, USBs galore. I want to say that I am almost done other than deploying all this stuff. So we're going to probably cut the camera here. Okay, let's get this kick-ass shower awning out. I love this thing. If I'm all muddy on the trail and it's summertime like it is now, just got to unzip it, unstrap it, open up these two arms like this. And you are just about done, baby. Ready to take a shower. Huh? Change clothes, use the bathroom, do whatever you want to do. You can stake it down if you like. Of course, I'm not going to do that. We're on pavement. It has them in a little Velcro strap in here to put your shower head. Right here. Got bags in here to put soap and shampoo. Then we got this little doodad right here, where I thought about opening this window and hanging my shower bag of stuff in there. I'm not real sure what this is for, but it's there. Really nice. It's got these rods to weight it down and stuff, so you really don't have to stake it down. Love this thing. Love the kick-ass shower awning.
So one good thing pulling that down, you could have your clothes hanging in there. Like on a hanger in the truck.
Oh,
Unzip it, pull your clothes out.
Yep. Yep.
When everything's
Love it.
dry.
You can adjust this right here to its tightness, how low and high it sits. That's the kick-ass awning. Now, let's go over here to the OBS 180.
That's not an awning.
The shower enclosure.
There you go.
Thank you. I've already unzipped it. All I gotta do is pull these two straps right here. We thought that we wanted a 270 awning, and it goes to tell you that you should research before you go and buy something. If we would have bought the 270 awning, we would have quickly realized that the 270 awning would have run all the way over here, and we would not have been able to open our hatch on the rear of our truck. So no need to have the 270. Good friend of ours, Nate Charlier, sold this thing to us for a really good amount of money. I will not tell you because it'll make you cry. These things retail for $1,000. To open it up, you just have to bring out these each and every arm, I guess is what we'll call it. Just like this. All these things you see all tangled up and dangling, these are just stake points.
They're your guide wires.
Yep. On a wind, it is a freestanding awning, but if you are at the beach or it's windy, you should really stake down your stuff. It also comes with poles that are folded up in the top of it here that you can put down for extra stability. But it's really nice that you can deploy this thing. If I edit this video in real time, you'll see that it will take me all of about maybe 4 minutes.
And you can tell who normally opens it on a routinely basis.
Without the help of my lovely wife, I will do this by myself while she watches and
giggles behind the scenes.
giggles behind the scenes. So once you hook these two straps up, you're home free. Shelter for rain, shade.
Where are you going?
Man,
Where are you going?
was so short.
It goes right there to the bumper.
Really? Is that where you put it?
Yeah.
Where do you hook it?
Right here.
Right there?
Yeah. You just pull it tight.
Hook it all the way over there.
Mm.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. And just pull
All
it
right.
tight.
Learn something new. Guess that works. There we go. 180 awning. Look how nice this thing is. I love it.
Now these are the legs he was talking about. There's two right here. They stay velcroed in there and they come down. They also give you two, I think, additional ones, but they're at home in the garage. We haven't brought them or thankfully needed them because we haven't had them with us.
You just twist to lock them, and that's it. 3 to 5 minutes. You got your some shade. We love this thing.
We even used it on Cape Lookout earlier when it was quite windy and only had the two poles, and we were still perfectly fine.
Yep. I'm sitting there looking at this thing here. How in the world we'll be able to open my tent?
Why don't you just climb the ladder?
Well, let's try that.
The first step's a doozy.
Why did I buy a ladder? Because when I pictured an overlanding vehicle years ago, it had a ladder. I probably have no use for the ladder, but I like the ladder. I'm sticking with my idea with the ladder. I personally would like to use it to get into the tent, but it is somewhat of a doozy of a first step. This is how easy it is to deploy our tent. Couple latches. Get this thing out of the way, which cinches all the material. We store our poles inside the tent. There is still beach sand from our Cape Lookout trip. all over the place. Look at this. Look at the corrosion on this thing. Absolutely crazy.
We have vacuumed out the tent. We have shook everything out, brought everything out, the little mattress pad, everything that's in there, and still sand.
And that's it. The truck is fully deployed in 10 minutes. Home sweet home. We take the camp pack that's in the back of the truck and I hand that up to Michelle. She makes the bed up and pillows, tablet for Bob's Burgers at night, and it is our home away from home. This is Bruiser. I love this truck. We love this truck. This truck is part of the family. I will probably be buried in it.
Not a chance. Not if he goes first.
Michelle's still going to overland without me, I assume. I will tell you how much the truck is worth if we had to put a dollar sign on it. We bought this 96 Land Cruiser 8-9 years ago in very poor shape. I want to say it had about 165,000 miles on it. Now y'all are going to hate us for this, for $4,500. It was, we didn't know how good of a deal it was back then because it was at 2022, where the prices of Land Cruisers have gone up significantly. So just a stock Land Cruiser nowadays with 160,000 miles is probably going to be $20,000 to $30,000. So $4,500 is a really good deal. Again, it was in rough shape. Maintenance-wise, had been neglected. The paint was trashed. The interior was trashed. It was just, we had to bring this thing back to life. I think we've done that. We're almost done with it. There's still some, she laughs, there's still some money to be spent on it. I keep a build sheet on this truck, and I roughly estimate some of the stuff that we've done. Some of it, like the OBS awning here, we got used, got a really good deal of $400 for it, where it retails for $1,000. So there's been some deals that have been made to be able to build this thing. The tent, for example, we got it on a pre-sale. I believe that tent is somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,200 now on Outer Tent's website. I want to say I bought it for $2,700, maybe even less. So there's been some savings here and there. You know, be patient when you build these rigs. You don't have to go. Just take your time, but nonetheless, build it. So they will come, so you will come outdoors and enjoy it. All in all, my build sheet is creeping up on $40,000 for this 1996 FZJ80. That $40,000 is a lot of money. We are very blessed to be able to have the finances to be able to build this thing. We probably buy something for it about once a week. For sure, Amazon knows where we live, but I cannot stress enough, if you have the days before this Land Cruiser, I have camped in a Honda Civic hatchback and a Lexus IS 300 with firewood in the trunk. Just take what you can and get out and go camping. Preferably join our group, Venture Unknown. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook. We have a website, it's ventureunknown.com. With the little slash between the venture and the unknown, because some company has got our domain name, but so don't forget the slash. I hope to see you guys out with us really soon. Please like and subscribe the channel. We are trying to build our YouTube channel. That's the purpose in this video and the ones that are to come. We are starting to film our adventures. There are already some on there. Please give them a watch. Again, my name is Sean. Michelle, my lovely wife, is behind us. We're Venture Unknown. This is Bruiser. Peace. Get lost on purpose.